Okay, so I'll just share my screen. And, well, there, that's what I wanted. Yeah, that's it. And view and slideshow. So welcome everybody. Thank you ever so much for your time. I do always appreciate when people come to my events that they're very busy. They've got things that they need to do. And, I appreciate you taking time out to spend a bit of time with me. My promise to you is to do my best to make sure that you get the best return on investment from your time in being here, that I give you some ideas and thoughts that will make an actual difference to your business. Today is part of a program which I set up at the beginning of January. It's happening every single week. Each week is different. I cover a different subject. The program is called Results Mastery Live. It's a live event. It basically comprises of two sides. The first bit is a presentation, which I'll do this month, or sorry, this week rather, which is on appointments. Appointment mastery is what we're going to cover today. And then there's an open Q&A discussion after that. And I'll also talk to you about one of the things that I do on the meeting is offer you the opportunity of meeting up. And when you do that, it's not me trying to sell you stuff. I want to be really clear on that, because I know sometimes when you come on these things and they offer you a meeting, it's just an opportunity to push something onto you. It's not about that. It's about, really, from my point of view, demonstrating my expertise, which dates back 28 years now. I've been helping and advising businesses on how to grow, specializing in sales and marketing. And I just want to offer you the opportunity of that meeting. And I also want to offer you membership of something I call somebody's got some not great.
Sound just gone. The sound is going a bit strange. I think
Yeah,
Peter needs to mute.
yeah, I've just muted Peter. Yeah, okay. So I think we're now okay. Yeah, so that's what it's all about. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you benefit from it. So just Peter, we're getting a lot of echo from you, I think.
I've got some technical problems, Steve.
Yeah. Do you mind if I mute you?
Sorry?
Do you mind if I mute you? Just if you got anything to say, just unmute yourself by all means. But other than that, just so we don't get that echo, although it's not happening right now, strangely enough.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just mute you just for now, if that's okay. Okay. So I always like to just show this slide at the beginning of my presentations, because I think this is a really important thing for us all to focus on. I call it the 5-step business growth system. I actually pinched it from a guy called Daniel Priestley. Some of you may know Daniel. When I say Priestley, when I say pinched it, what I do is I give him credit for it because it's his system, but I just think it's so good. It's really worth thinking about and looking into. I do believe, as far as marketing and sales are concerned, often people go straight from strangers to, do you want to buy this? And I think there's, as it says here, sort of things along the way. So first step is the biggest problem that a lot of businesses have is crowd development. Basically, it's obscurity. We're not known by enough people. And, my focus and my focus of my clients who are on my results mastery program is to turn strangers into prospects. That's step one. Step two then is to capture their details, be it coming to an event like this, on a form on your website, offering a free report, or several other ways that you can turn people into people that you sort of know, into people who are part of your community. And it's really about, I think, getting people to respond. I suppose from a appointment setting point of view, when they come back to you, if you've put a message out to them, I've sent an email out to 5,000 people, and let's say 100 of them respond saying something that's reasonably positive, that's what we're talking about here in terms of capturing their information. We then got, which is basically this session, the idea of we've got leads, we need to turn them into calls and meetings. And that's what we're going to focus on today. Once we've done that, we've got to turn those people from meetings into sales, and then into continuity to get them to buy from us again and again, and get them coming back on an ongoing basis. And that, I believe, is a really good business growth system for you to think about. What are you doing under those 5 sections? Definitely something for you to think about going ahead. So the first thing, as far as increasing the number of appointments and meetings that you're getting, we've got to think about what we're doing in terms of lead generation. I've said here that, why aren't people getting enough appointments? Sometimes it's because they're not getting enough leads. It's falling down literally at area 1. And to get more leads, what are you going to do? Well, there's a whole variety. There's hundreds probably of different marketing things you could be doing. I just put 8 up there, things that you may be doing and you may be weak at, or not really working as well as possible. And just based on my experience, that's what people tend to do. So I'll just quickly whiz through these. So website. So many people have a website, and so many people win no leads from their website. If you don't, there's a reason behind it, and it's probably due to one of 2 things. It's either lack of traffic, or it's poor conversion rate of the website. You're either getting a load of people coming to your site and they're not doing anything, they're disappearing off, or you're not getting very many people coming to your site, but when they do come, they are converting. So is it because you're getting enough people to your site but your site's not converting, or is it that you're not doing things to get people to your website? And we will be running a future a session called Website Mastery, which, if that's you, then you might want to attend that. Next one, email. I see, it just blows me away that so many people are not doing email marketing. I can't think of a reason why you wouldn't want to do it. And even in, today's modern digital world, where emails, sometimes considered old hat because it's been around for so long, it's still really, really valuable. What better way is there to get marketing messages out and communication out to the masses other than email? Yes, you could pay for it. You could do paid advertising, and you can post stuff on LinkedIn, but directly into an inbox. I do email marketing. If you're on my list, which you probably are, probably 1, 2, 3 times a week. I get emails from some people almost every day. And yet I get emails from lots of people via a quarterly newsletter, which ain't really going to do it. The one thing I would tell you about gathering leads, if you just do more of what you're already doing, assuming it's working to some level, you can improve that. And that really applies to LinkedIn and social media as well. I hear people saying to me all the time that, oh yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, but I don't really do very much. Or, I'm on Facebook, but, I haven't really got time to do it. Well, really, that's fine. But if it's not getting you the results that you want, i.e. meetings and sales, you got to do something different. The definition of insanity, I think Einstein said, was doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different result. So we've got to do that again and again, you know, and we've got to keep up. You know, I was listening to a guy called Gary Vaynerchuk, who some of you may know. He's one of the world's leading sort of business type gurus. And he said, if you're not posting 5 to 10 times a day on LinkedIn, you're wasting your time. Now, that for me even is a little bit excessive, but you know, I do believe that 90% of the people that I talk to are not doing enough on LinkedIn. So if you want to get leads on LinkedIn and sales, then you need to take more action and better action. I personally, I'm telling you this not to impress you. For some of you, it might not impress you at all, but I win about 100 grand a year from LinkedIn. And I do that through putting a lot of effort into it. I know others are 10 times that, you know, but I know most people don't win very much business at all because they don't have the right strategy and they don't do enough. So just a thought for you there. Next one is advertising. You can get meetings and appointments through advertising, obviously, but what people don't do is put enough time and effort into it often. You know, I heard a guy told me recently that he tried Facebook advertising. I said, oh, what did you do? He said, well, I tried boosting a post and I put £10 into it. You know, give me a break, you know. It's not gonna work. We need to put more effort into it. I noticed, by the way, that LinkedIn are giving us all a voucher at the moment. They're promoting their paid advertising, so you can get a voucher for £100 on LinkedIn. They're not offering it to everybody all the time, but they are offering it to quite a few people right now. So you might want to go and look at that. It's actually a gold box in the top right-hand corner. So, you know, if LinkedIn will give you £100 worth of advertising for free, you might as well use that. Next one, and this is another big one for a lot of people, certainly in the small business world, that is that they go networking. You know, networking is a great way of winning business, whether it's online or offline. You know, the truth of the matter is the more people you speak to, the more money ends up in your bank. I think that is so incredibly true. The more people you meet, the more money ends up in your bank. We've got somebody new. We've got Kevin just arriving. But you know, we need to be you know, out there networking, and we need to become good at it. And you know what, the biggest mistake that I see in networking is this. I see people all the time who are out there networking, and I've been doing networking now probably for 28 years, and I could, if I asked you, how many times do you think when I've met somebody networking that they followed up with me via email or a phone call or asked me to connect on LinkedIn? How many would you think that might be? Well, to put you out of your misery, the answer's none. Nobody has ever done that. And I find that just unbelievable. You know, the most important thing about networking is what you do after you've been networking. You know, you probably not going to win business or win appointments while you're networking. You might do, but it's the follow-up where the money is, I believe. Events like this, that's another one. You know, today I've got, you know, probably whatever we've got here, about 8 people who I will follow up with. Why wouldn't I? You're here, you hopefully enjoy the session, and I need to follow up with those people. I've also got about 15 people who said they were going to come, but haven't. So will I follow up with them, do you think? Yeah, absolutely. So that's 24 leads. I've been doing this, by the way, this event every week since about the 20th of March, 20th of March, 20th of January, I meant to say. I was on holiday at the beginning of January. I came back and I started running these events. So far, I've made about £25,000. Right? I say that not to impress you, rather than to impress upon you that if you've got the right type of business to do something like this, it's brilliant because you're in front of people. Even better, actually, is if you can run a physical event where people turn up and, you know, go into a room. But, you know, these days with travel and so on, you know, how many people would have come to the Isle of Wight this morning for a, you know, 45-minute session? Probably not many, in truth, but, you know, they're absolutely brilliant. And the last one there, and again, this is a really big one, is the use of video and podcasts. I've got a podcast. I've recently got it on to Amazon Music and iTunes. That has just absolutely taken it to the next level. I'm getting round about 7,000 to 8,000 views every time I do a podcast show. So every time I get on my podcast and do a little talk, I get 7,000 to 8,000 people. And that is just, you know, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't everybody here do a podcast? I don't know. And it's just brilliant. It's like having your own radio show. You know, it costs me $100 a year to manage it. It's an absolute no-brainer, and I'd strongly recommend that you do that. So, you know, brilliant. Video. You know, a video it's like having your own TV station. You know, you can get video and you can do that on your phone. You can get testimonials. You can do it on your computer. You can do it, you know, just do it and get it out there, push it out through social and so on and so forth. So the first thing we need to do is to gather leads, which I've sort of gone through quite extensively there. Once we've done that, we've got to convert them, right? So I don't know how many leads you guys get per month, but however many it is, the first area, I think, you know, if you sit back at the end of March and say, well, in March, I'll use 20. I got 20 leads in March. And my goal for April is to increase that to 30. And to do that, I'm going to do some of the things that I've just spoken about there on the previous slide, which was getting more leads. Okay. We've now got to look at what we're going to do in order to convert more of those leads, because, you know, leads that don't convert are just, quite frankly, a pain in the arse, you know, because they take a lot of work and time and effort and follow up and so on and so forth. You know, I'd much rather get 5 leads and convert 4 of them than get 50 leads and convert 3 of them, obviously. So there are several things to think about with leads. It's the number of leads you get, the value of those leads, the conversion rate of those leads, and the follow-up in terms of repeat business that you get. Is it just a one-off sale, or have you got repeat business from those? So I've got a few steps, again, eight points to go through with you. First one, I love this. I heard this from a guy, a friend of mine called Peter Thompson. He said, follow up until they die or buy. I think he was a little bit tongue in cheek when he said that, although that it may be not knowing Peter. But, you know, I do think people give up too easy. They said, you know, I hear all the time, well, I phoned him. Did you get through? No, I didn't manage to speak to him. So what did you do? Well, I sent him an email. Did he respond? No, he didn't respond. So what did you do there? Well, I phoned him again. And then what did you do? Well, he clearly wasn't interested, so I gave up and just added him to our database. You know, you've got to keep going, guys. You really have. You know, it could be all sorts of reasons. They're busy, they haven't had time, you know, whatever it is, I think is really important. I'm sure you've heard that old saying that it takes eight communications to get a sale, or even to get a meeting, it can take 8. So, you know, if you think about that as a concept, you know, what is your 12-step sales system? You know, what happens? Do you use giveaways? Do you make phone calls? Do you do email? Do you keep chasing? Do you send them something of value? Do you invite them to an event that you're running? Do you send them a video? You know, a little video going, oh, hi, it's Steve Mills here. We spoke last week and I've been trying to get hold of you because you said you were interested in joining Results Mastery, you've not yet responded to about 2 or 3 contacts. I phoned you and I've emailed you and so on. I even sent you a text. Just wondering whether you're still interested. If you are, please get in touch. That would be fantastic. That would be maybe more persuasion orientated than it would just send in another email. So when we've got this and we develop this 12-step system, you want to think about doing different things within it. Perhaps I could send you a copy of a book that I've written, therefore inducing the law of reciprocation. So there are lots of things we can do in terms of that. If you think about your system, whatever it is right now, if you're like most of the people that I speak to, you've probably not got a written system as such, but you've maybe got something in your head. Well, what we do is we phone them up. And by the way, one interesting thing here, speed stuns. That's a really good tip. If you can phone them straight away, that it's like, I phoned my local garage a little while ago to get my car in for servicing. I phoned them, I left a message. I phoned them again, I left a message, and 3 days later they'd still not responded. What does that really tell you? Does that make me want to go back there? Probably not. If they got back to me 2 minutes later, I'm thinking, oh wow, this is a really good company. This is the type of person or company I want to deal with. So, that I think is important. So look at you in terms of what your system is and what you need to improve on, and what you could do that you don't currently do. I'll give you one example that I very rarely see. One of the things that we do is I've got this document, and it's called "Don't Take My Word for It," which is a great headline, I think, for a document that is just full of testimonials. It's actually it's just less than 150 testimonials from companies. It's called "Don't Take Our Word for It." If you want a copy, I'll send it you, and you can maybe adapt it for you. All genuine testimonials. And I say that again, not to impress you, but just to impress upon you that, if somebody sent you that, that might help in that conversion from I'm interested to I want to meet. So that's a really important thing. Another one that's really big, and I keep going on to my Results Mastery clients about this: never leave a meeting or a conversation without a follow-up. Have you ever been in a situation where somebody said, well, I tell you what, yeah, I'm going to have a think about it, and if you want to give me a call next week, that would be great. So my response to that would be, no problem at all. I can definitely do that. I've got Tuesday at 12 or Wednesday at 3. Are either of those any good? Why am I doing that? Because I want a time to call, and I'll book that into my diary. I'll send them a link. So it's like a telephone meeting rather than just you know what it's like. You phone them and they're not there, and you phone them again, they're in a meeting, and then they're not able to get back to you and so on. So a really good tip I was given ages ago was never leave a meeting without a follow-up. I think that's really true. Team training in appointment setting. I talk to people all the time, and they say, well, I've not really done any training in it, Steve, or I've not really done any marketing training, I've not really done any sales training, and yet they're responsible for selling and marketing in their own business. It's often an area of weakness in lots of businesses, and you need to get some training if you're not. And I do. I train myself every day, every single day. 7:30 to 8 is sales and marketing training in my world. 7 till 7:30 is thinking time. I asked myself a question. This morning's question was, what are the 3 things that are holding my business back right now? How powerful is that, to sit down and think about that for half an hour? I then go into sales training, marketing training, one or the other, or sometimes a bit of both, and then I start work at 8. So, it's just some ideas for you to think, whether that's with your team or on your own or whatever. We all need to get better at marketing. You know, it's changing so quickly. That's one thing. You know, what I was teaching on LinkedIn a year ago, you know, has changed because, you know, it needs to, because you know, of technology and so on and so forth. What written scripts do you have? You know, do you have a written script? When somebody says, tell me, what do you do? You know, do you have a script for that? I got a lovely little script I'd like to share with you, if I may. It goes like this. I work with people who, some of them are like this, others are like that, and a few are like something else. So to translate that into mine, I'd say I work with small businesses who are dedicated to growing. Some of them don't have time to do their own marketing. Others don't really like or understand modern digital marketing methods, and a few have done very little marketing and instead relied on referrals and word of mouth, but they're now looking to grow. Does any of that ring any bells with you? That is worth, you know, that has been worth a fortune to me, because everybody, you say that at a networking event and people will come up with you. And by the way I developed that is I ask people what are the 3 biggest problems that they have with marketing, and the responses were they don't have time, they don't understand, and they've never really done that much. So I know those things, and when I tell people what I do, I cover those things in that presentation. So I hope and believe that's of real value to you. Okay, so that's about it. Other than, you know, what are you going to do, you know, as a result of today? I'll be interested in having a conversation to you about that. If you want to book this Zoom meeting with me, it's normally about half an hour, 45 minutes, something like that. If you go to steve-mills.com, you'll see a gold button. You can just click on that. By the way, you know that system I told you about at the beginning, I've not set that up yet. So if you're thinking, why has he not done that, you know, I'm just looking into it at the moment, but I really do think it looks good. And you know, there's my contact details. If you want to check me out or, you know, get in touch with me, feel free to do so. So that's it in terms of the presentation. I hope you got something from that. Over to you guys with any questions for either me or anybody else in the group. You'll have to undo your unmute yourself if you got a question.
Steve, could I ask a question of Imran, please?
Yeah.
I'm Imran. I'm just intrigued about your business offering, debt and equity for growing businesses. Can you give me a little bit more information, please?
Yes, so we kind of facilitate, you know, funding options through leveraging our kind of vast network of investors, funders, or acquirers. We've got VCs, family offices, and angel investors within our network as well. Typically, the kind of businesses that, well, we help businesses from startup pre-revenue all the way up to 50 million revenue. But typically the businesses that we like to deal with are ones who are a bit more established, but around about £1 million turnover, with kind of some positive profitability over the last 12 months as well.
Okay, interesting.
Oh.
Steve, I mean, some businesses are yeah, your method of promotion and marketing and generating leads varies between businesses. I have a focus on consultancy work in Africa, and you know, there's 54 countries in Africa.
Okay.
I find it incredibly difficult to generate leads on consultancy work. It just tends to be a complete needle in a haystack finding those projects. It's yeah, any ideas there? I mean, I can't go networking in 54 countries. I was using LinkedIn quite a bit, which generated some work, but it's really difficult.
That's where I was going to go with you. LinkedIn's the way forward to do that. You know, if I wanted to get into Africa, Australia, and anywhere, you know, what would I do? I'd start to grow my contacts in that country or those countries. But the quickest, easiest way would be through LinkedIn advertising. You know, you can say to LinkedIn, right, show this advert to these people, and these people are based on location, their job title, their industry, the size of business. There's never really been an opportunity like there is right now to advertise to such a niche. And the best thing about it is you only pay if they click. So you could say, right, people in the agricultural industry in all these countries in Africa, and they must have, you know, have you know, employ at least X amount of people. So you're not going to get like you know, somebody who's got a, you know, it's too small for you, or too big for you, the other way around. And you can advertise to them with a little budget, you know, to try it. 10 quid a day for, let's say, I don't know, a month, you know, that's 300 quid. You know, and you've tested that to see if it can work. Now, you may need to tweak your advert and improve it and change the targeting a little bit to see if you can get a better response. But you know, that's what I'd do. That would be my, you know, if I wanted to make a big hit as quick as I could, I'd spend money on LinkedIn paid advertising, targeting exactly who I want, and try and be as niched as you can.
Yeah. I watched a video by Gary Vaynerchuk, who you mentioned.
All right,
and
yeah.
I started using LinkedIn. Well, I was going to say quite extensively several years ago. I published articles. I produced videos, very amateurish videos, and published those.
So do I.
And I got look, I don't have the time to publish something 5 times a day like he suggested, but I was producing a 5-minute video and publishing it every week.
Okay.
And it did actually, I say it got results. It certainly raised my profile.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it didn't actually bring any business in, which yeah, I was happy with the improved profile.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't bring in those magic customers that were willing to pay.
I have a saying, you cannot put likes into the bank, you know, no matter how many people like my video, you know, it's nice, as you say, or, you know, it's good that people, you know, look at it and so on and so forth, but does it convert? That's the real key. So there are things you can do in terms of improving conversion of video, but I'd just like to say, for all those who are thinking, you know what, LinkedIn might be the way forward for me, I can tell you now that probably 80% of my money that I get from LinkedIn, so about 80 grand a year, comes from me using one of these. You see my phone there? See what it says on my phone? Pick me up and I'll make you money. It sits there on my phone all day, and that's where the money is. It's going. Oh, Paul, hi, how are you? We just connected on LinkedIn, and I don't know about you, Paul, but I always find when people connect to me on LinkedIn, often you never hear from them again. Does that ever happen to you? And Paul says, yeah, it does. So I thought I'd be proactive and just give you a call. I'm not trying to sell you anything, just want to be clear, but just find out a little bit more about your business, tell you about mine, and see, you know, if there's any way we could maybe work together or network together or whatever. Is that okay, Paul? And that's how I do. That's how I win business on LinkedIn. Not all the time. Most of the time, you know, we have a decent conversation with Paul, and I don't try and sell him anything because you know, I'm not into selling to strangers. I'm into building a relationship with Paul so that he knows me, likes me, and trusts me. And then at some point in the future, he might come back to me and want to buy something because or need my help. And that's really, really powerful, I think. You know, if you think about it, you know, I don't know how many phone calls everybody's making to your LinkedIn contacts, but I suspect, based on what I hear from lots of people when I speak to them, it's very few, if any at all. We keep posting on LinkedIn and wondering why we don't win any business, or sharing videos. But the way to win business is to talk to people. It's using modern digital marketing in an old-fashioned way.
I seem to be hogging the questions. Can I ask another question? Does anyone else want to ask a question?
So it's all useful, isn't it? I think for everybody. So fire away.
Yeah. Okay, righto. I'm going to dispute something you've said there, or sort of. You've said that you reach out to people, and you told us the first thing in this call was this isn't the purpose of selling myself. It's but at the end of the day, it is.
It is.
And I met this guy a few years ago, an old guy with grey hair and little hair, and he said, "Rob, I prefer it when people come in to a meeting or a phone call and just tell me what they want, and cut out this, I'm just here to have a chat and see if we can work together. Just tell me what you want. If I can help you, I will. And if I can't, that's fine. Maybe you can help me. But don't wait, I don't know whether he used the term. He said, don't lie to me. I just pretend it's just a chit chat. He said, we're in business. We're looking to do something in business and make money, and don't try and beat about the bush. Just be straight up with it." Do you think there's any merit to that approach, or?
I do. All I'm telling you is how I do it. I'm not that pushy. I don't think. I try not to be, but I am pushy from a point of view. I'm going to keep in touch with you. I believe one of the most important things in marketing is it's all about timing, isn't it? It's like I need people who need help right now in marketing, but where are they? Where can you buy that list? You need help of people who need advice and help in the agricultural industry in South Africa, but where are they? It's timing. That's why it's important for consistency to keep on keeping on. I tell you a really quick story, which I think is hilarious. I had a woman call me. It's about 2 months ago now, and she said, "Oh, hi. I don't know whether you remember me, but 14 years ago, you came to Swindon to deliver a seminar, and I was there, and you've been emailing me ever since, and I now need your help." So she's been getting at least a weekly email from me for 14 years, and now she wants my help. So it just shows you, never give up, never give up. And also don't judge people as well, So I've had several times when I've thought, oh, they probably won't be interested. It's not, I've phoned them 3, 4, 5 times and they've never returned my call. And I remember one particular example. I very, very nearly didn't follow up. And I did follow up, and they went, "Oh yeah, I'm glad you phoned. The timing's great." And I went into a meeting with them a week later and walked out with an order for 25 grand. And I thought, blooming heck, that was very nearly, wouldn't have been mine if I hadn't have called. So, I think
No, you're absolutely right there. In my sales career, the people where you think you've got the sale in the bag disappears into the ether, and the people you think have absolutely no interest, next
true.
thing you know, you just get a check through the post.
Yeah, it happens the other way. You think, oh yeah, they're definitely going to go ahead, and then they don't.
Yeah.
But
Steve, can you just remind me? You said that we can follow up with a discovery call.
Yes.
Is that via your email?
Yes, or my website. If you go to steve-mills.com, there's a gold button. Just press that. That'll open up Calendly, and you can book a meeting. Yeah.
Fantastic.
But I will change it over to the new system when I've set everything up, but it's not quite ready yet. I want to test it, make sure it all works. Nothing worse than it not working. So, but yeah.
We'll find the gold button. Okay.
Okay, we're just about, we said 3/4 of an hour. It's 12:46 now, so I'm going to end the meeting. Thank you ever so much for being here. I hope it's been of value. If you want to book a meeting, great. If you don't, no problem. If you do book a meeting, try and think of what you'd like to get out of it. If you've got a website that's not working, you want to talk about that, or your LinkedIn, or your whatever. I'm very happy to help you. And if you want to come along next week to results mastery. Next week's on influence. So when you get in that meeting, how do you influence people more effectively? And it's based around a book called Persuasion by a guy called Robert Cialdini, who's a professor from Harvard. It's a brilliant book, and I'm going to be talking about some of the things that he talks about in that book. So should be well worth attending if you can.
Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you.
Okay.
Steve, just before we
Thanks a lot.
finish,
Yeah, Robert. Yeah.
well, it's just that I've had quite a bit of involvement with agriculture, so I'd be quite interested in linking up with Rob if that was an option. Can we do that? Is that
Yeah. Of course you can. Yeah. Just stick your email address in the chat,
in the chat?
and Rob can grab it.
I'll put my mobile in, Rob, if that works for you.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, I'm very happy for if that's a good relationship, great. Just holding to let you do that.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm not so quick.
No worries.
And I'm sending it to everyone. But anyway,
Yeah, it's all right.
Rob, if you can give me a call, that'll be good. I think there's something that might be useful from some involvements I've had. You look puzzled.
I had an IT issue. I'm not working off my phone, so I'm just trying to figure out how to copy that number. I think I've done it, and
Okay.
I'll give you a call.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Great to hear. Great to hear.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Say
Thanks,
goodbye
Steve.
for now. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye all.
Bye bye.